Hello, my name is Caitlin Bolton. The title of this presentation is My Vision Statement, which is my final project for SPF 301, the Culture and Schooling course at Arizona State University. As a Human Resources Learning and Development Specialist, I will acknowledge the diversity, experiences, beliefs, and values of employees and promote a company culture that is inclusive, progressive, invested, and dynamic. I will promote lifelong learning and development in the workplace and recognize that adult learners bring to the table a different set of skills, attributes, learning goals, and learning preferences. In my future workplace, I will be working with adult learners, which are an entirely different breed than the typical classroom-age students and can be described as being internally motivated and self-directed. They bring life experiences and knowledge to learning experiences, are goal-oriented, are relevancy-oriented, are practical, and they like to be respected. Because adult learners are internally motivated and self-directed, and their learning does not take place in formal learning environments like a classroom, my role is to guide adult learners toward learning experiences as well as to foster their internal motivation to learn. Therefore, because these individuals bring their own life experiences and knowledge into their learning experiences, to facilitate lifelong learning in the workplace means to provide opportunities that build upon their prior knowledge and skills, acknowledging their diverse range of intelligences and experiences in an individualized way that further develops their learning and skills. The culture of the workplace should cultivate the feelings of respect, transparency, creativity, inclusion, and support. So as individuals are encouraged to learn, to fail, to try new things, all in an environment that respects, supports, and praises them for who they are. This supportive and respectful environment should not only promote these ideals, but should provide equal opportunities for all employees. In this learning environment, negative hidden curriculum will not be tolerated. Hidden curriculum is the unspoken or implicit academic, social, and cultural messages that are communicated, which undermine the established company values and can contradict the culture of the company. Too often in the workplace, there are individuals who undermine the company's values through bigotry, exclusive practices, prejudice, biases, and an unhealthy level of competition. This directly interferes with the values of having an inclusive, progressive, invested, and dynamic culture and inhibits employees' ability to feel respect, valued, and supported in their work as well as their learning and development. To combat this means to have strict rules concerning any behavior that is found to contradict the company culture or undermine it. And it means ensuring that the company only recruits individuals who truly exemplify and believe in these values, essentially having a hire and fire by the cultural values mentality. Learning environment and the concepts of space, place, and material culture. My learning environment revolves around adult learners in the workplace, and therefore, my learning environment will help implement my future workplace values and culture, and to promote learning through the physical environment of the corporate office space. The physical environment of a space and the way in which it is utilized can either help to promote the intended culture of the learning environment, or can act as a massive inhibitor to the intended goal. Because my learning environment revolves around adult learners and is taking place in the informal learning environment of the corporate office space, the learning environment needs to reflect the diversity of adult learners and promote the ways in which they learn best. This learning environment is in the informal setting of corporate offices and needs to be multifunctional and catered towards promoting the culture of the company and their values/goals. In the workplace, culture trumps design. A good design reflects the culture of the business, and the key is having spaces that reflect a culture of everything that motivates and drives people, a space with autonomy and flexibility. The learning environment/workplace needs to be open, with modifications available to fit the diverse needs of the individuals within the office, and to reflect transparency and promote collaboration and autonomy. The workplace should be open, offer multiple spaces to choose from to work and learn, depending on the individual's needs and how they are feeling that day. promote creativity, autonomy, and transparency through having options on how, where, and to what level of privacy the individual chooses to learn and work, and should be filled with artwork and design features that showcase diversity, inclusion, transparency, respect, and collaboration. These changes work to promote the culture of the workplace and to support adult learners in their learning and development needs. The achievement gap and cultural bias. The adult learners within my learning environment will have equal opportunity and access to quality lifelong learning in the workplace, regardless of race, gender, or socioeconomic status. In this workplace learning environment, all individuals will be provided with high expectations and adequate support, technology, and resources to achieve these goals without any cultural bias or discrimination. The achievement gap is a disparity of achievement between various student groups, or the unequal or inequitable distribution of educational results and benefits, which work against the values of equal opportunity and access to resources. The achievement gap affects individuals' opportunities and access to resources that help them to succeed in learning and development, both personally and professionally. This is caused by a number of factors such as race, gender, and socioeconomic status, low expectations for learners' achievements due to their race/socioeconomic status, lack of resources and materials, and negative learning environment culture. Within my future learning environment, all individuals will be afforded equal opportunities and access to resources needed for successful lifelong learning and personal and professional development, regardless of their socioeconomic status, race, culture, or gender. Any discrimination in terms of relationships with people, work, and access to resources/opportunities because of employees' social class or socioeconomic status, race, gender, and cultural background will not be tolerated within my learning environment. In the workplace, all employees will be held to high expectations and standards for learning, development, and achievement. All employees will be treated with positive attitudes, support, and belief in employees' achievements, and will be afforded the equal opportunities and access to resources in order to do so. All employees will be afforded the same individualized training and development plans catered towards each employee's personal and professional goals, will be afforded the same high expectations and support for achievement of these goals, and will be provided the equal access and opportunities to do so. Additionally, all employees will be given equal support, mentoring, and advising on how to achieve these goals and further lifelong learning and development, and will be met with a positive attitude, belief, and dedication to ensuring these goals and high standards are met. The culture of the workplace will support the initiatives stated above and provide a progressive, transparent, respectful, diverse, and inclusive work environment that does not discriminate towards individuals' race, gender, culture, or socioeconomic status, but instead uses diversity to help further learning opportunities and teach employees about each other and the world around them. The culture of the workplace will be one that not only supports individual characteristics and diverse backgrounds, but celebrates them and sees them as more ways to promote learning and development from a multicultural education standpoint. Culture as a disability and interpreting cultural conflict in learning environments. Within my learning environment, I will create a company culture that reflects, promotes, integrates, and celebrates the diverse backgrounds of every employee. I will deter cultural conflict by ensuring that there is no one right culture within the learning environment, and instead, all cultures are welcome, supported, and represented in a way that makes employees feel comfortable to be themselves. Within my learning environment, I will ensure that cultural disabilities do not exist. The idea of culture as a disability is that culture itself disables people through inherent cultural biases about what skills, values, and abilities each culture has. This theory involves the idea and practice of believing that certain individuals will fail because they don't have the right cultural capital or are from a different culture from the mainstream culture being presented or valued. This idea of having one right culture, one way of doing things, creates and views culture as a disability and will not be tolerated within my future learning environment because it inhibits individuals from success and promotes the belief that individuals need to conform and adopt one way of doing things in order to be successful and correct, when in fact, there is much to be learned from other cultures, and this knowledge can be used to promote new ideas and ways of doing things that in turn furthers success for all. Within the workplace and my future learning environment, I will create and adopt the idea that culture of the workplace is constructed by the diverse individuals from within. Essentially, we will use the diverse backgrounds, beliefs, ideas, and knowledge each employee has to construct a harmonious workplace culture that promotes inclusion and uses each individual's backgrounds and diversity in a way that furthers our knowledge. This means creating an open, transparent, diverse, respectful company culture that encourages all individuals to be themselves. We will work together to create our own company culture that supports and promotes individuals' diversity and uses this as a way to learn from each other and further our own knowledge, competences, and skills. If individuals within a learning environment do not feel as if they can be themselves or feel as if they are not supported to be themselves, it affects their ability to learn and work effectively. Therefore, it is important to ensure that all individuals feel as if they are supported, respected, and celebrated for their diverse backgrounds, beliefs, skills, competences, and prior knowledge. Adult learners bring life experiences and knowledge to learning experiences, and therefore, these life experiences, diverse backgrounds, and prior knowledge should be viewed in a constructive way as something to build new knowledge off of and to teach others with, as opposed to being viewed as a hindrance to learning or acquiring new skills. Cultural conflict will be prevented within the learning environment by teaching cultural compatibility and compliance where the company culture is created and shaped to the learners and by the learners, as opposed to enforcing the idea that the employees/learners need to adapt or mold to a certain culture or idea. All cultures will be welcomed and supported within my learning environment and will be seen as a way to learn from each other and develop new competencies and skills. Pop culture and core rituals. In my future learning environment, I will use media as a resource to support learning and promoting understanding of important cultural and social information and issues to help facilitate socially and culturally competent learners. Core rituals will be used in the learning environment to establish a shared sense of belonging and will be used to reinforce and promote the company culture and values within. The media is a part of the collective public's, everyday lives, whether we like it or not. This is especially true of the learners within my future learning environment, those being adult learners. Since individuals, especially adults, interact with media on a daily basis, it should be used as a valuable tool to promote and facilitate learning and to talk about social and cultural events and issues in the world. Media also plays a part in helping individuals gain a sense of self-identity, which is essential in promoting self-efficacy and emotional intelligence, which is a major asset to have in the workplace in the modern world. Using media also allows for a creative and innovative approach to education, which expands the range of learning opportunities to further promote learning and development goals. Rituals in the workplace and in my future learning environment will be used to support the culture of the workplace, which is one of respect, autonomy, transparency, lifelong learning, diversity, and inclusion. Having rituals in place and within the cultural milieu of the learning environment through authority relations, the establishment of priorities, degrees of formality, modes of address, rules regarding conduct, the judgment of performance, the ordering of interpersonal relations, and so on, allow for the culture of the workplace to be reinforced in a way where all employees not only reflect but adhere to the workplace culture. While these rituals may sound strict, they in fact refer to the modes of conduct that promote transparency, communication, and collaboration between authority relations and within degrees of formality. Having these agreed upon goals for employees and the company as a whole is likely to ensure that these goals are being validated and committed to, and being committed to them being obtained and reinforced. The use of rituals within my future learning environment will not only work to reinforce the company culture and values, but to provide a sense of identity for all employees/learners. The concept of ritual is a necessary feature of identity and performance of all learning environment discourse. It establishes a clear understanding of the workplace and learning environment, with individuals understanding that there are right and wrong ways of performing. Seeing as I will ensure that the culture of the company is not only created by the employees within, but reflects and supports said employees within, the establishment of rituals that reinforce that culture will allow for all employees to truly find the sense of belonging, identity, and comfort within the learning environment and the workplace. Culturally responsive teaching. In the workplace, and particularly when it comes to learning and development, culturally responsive teaching means to view and use diversity as a way to further learning and development for all employees. Culturally responsive teaching is defined as using the cultural characteristics, experiences, and perspectives of ethnically diverse students as conduits for teaching them more effectively. This means to offer and develop a wide range of learning opportunities and strategies that use employees' diverse backgrounds, knowledge, skills, and competencies to further the learning and understanding at hand. This means having a deep understanding of my employees and not just teaching about multicultural education, but putting the diversity to use within the learning opportunities and using it as a way to further learning experiences and open up a wider range of learning possibilities and opportunities. To be a culturally responsive educator and to implement this into my future learning environment, it means that I will need to engage in equity pedagogy, which simply means that teachers change their methods to enable individuals from diverse racial groups in both genders to achieve. This means to develop opportunities that cater towards the advancement of all individuals, helping every employee, no matter their race, gender, background, socioeconomic status, or sexual orientation. To create learning opportunities that cater towards each employee's learning and development, personal and professional goals, and ensuring their success in achieving these. It's the understanding of all employees and their backgrounds, and then using this knowledge and understanding to further the development and learning opportunities that help promote lifelong learning and personal and professional success for all individuals. The result of culturally responsive teaching and of multicultural education, which runs hand in hand with this, will help us create a society where more people will participate in our democratic institutions and in working to make it a more harmonious society. Because if we're going to have people participate as citizens in a democratic society, they have to have the skills and knowledge and the racial attitudes needed to work with people from diverse groups. And therefore, it is necessary to not only teach individuals about diversity, but to use diversity to further learning opportunities and teach cultural, civic, and social competencies in learners. Learning opportunities go further than just the academics and should be used to produce culturally, socially, and civically competent individuals who are open-minded, well-rounded, and contributing members of society. This means to view culture as central to learning, understanding that it plays a role not only in communicating and receiving information, but also in shaping the thinking process of groups and individuals. Thank you for listening to my slide and watching my presentation.